It's time for yet another flight with Qatar Airways, this time from their hub in Doha to Bangkok on the Airbus A380 double-decker in first class. Welcome back to Doha's Hamad International Airport, where after spending a bit of time in the lounge, I headed over to the boarding gate. To board the first class cabin on this A380 flight, the staff checked my passport and my Thailand pass and then allowed me to take the elevator up to the second floor to board the A380 directly from the upper deck. Qatar Airways offers a stunning cabin here in A380 first class, with 8 seats in total in a 1-2-1 configuration across 2 rows. And as I settled into my seat, I couldn't help but take note of the mellifluous boarding music here on Qatar Airways. After flying Qatar Airways business class a bunch, first class on the A380 just feels like so much fun. Now that we've settled in, let's take a look around. Qatar Airways A380 first class is very spacious, with an ottoman opposite you that can also serve as a buddy seat for dining. Up here, next to the entertainment screen is a power outlet, and then by your side, the literature pocket is housed underneath this flap. Pressing these buttons triggers the automated window blinds, which can go all the way down for total darkness. Now down under this flap at your armrest, you've got the entertainment controller and a water bottle holder. And then up top here, you've got the reading lights. A dual set of seat controls, both electronic and analog, are found on the opposite armrest. And there's another set of controls hooked up to the privacy divider, although I have to say that there isn't all too much privacy here on Qatar Airways first class, at least compared to Q suites in business class. You can withdraw the heavy tray table out of its holder and slide it closer to you. And there's a storage compartment right here where you can hang your garments. As we prepare for takeoff, feeling super excited for this 7-hour flight coming up en route to Bangkok. I settled into my seat and sipped on my glass of rosé as we began to taxi across the tarmac here at Doha Airport and take off into the night sky. Reaching cruising altitude, I took a look through the in-flight menu to decide what I was going to eat. Caviar with smoked salmon was the natural choice of appetizer, and I liked the look of the pan-fried king prawns for my main course. For dessert, the Thai-inspired pandan sago mousse caught my eye, and then later on during the flight, I would pick from the light options menu the open-faced lobster roll. Qatar Airways' beverage menu was as impressive as usual, especially with the vintage champagne here on first class, the Krug 2004, of which I enjoyed way too many glasses as we prepared for the meal service. Dinner would begin with a tasty amuse-bouche before the caviar presentation was served in all of its beauty. Now this caviar plate is served with Balik-style salmon, and Qatar Airways is the only airline that I've seen this sort of presentation on. Let's dig in and see what it tastes like, and especially how the 2 types of seafood flavors meld together in my mouth. I gotta say, there's some airlines that serve caviar, there's some airlines that serve Balik salmon, but to have them both on one plate, that's pretty indulgent even for me. I polished off the rest of the plate enthusiastically before moving on to the main course, another beautiful plate of pan-fried king prawns. For me, it's pretty hard to be dissatisfied with any seafood dish in the sky, and this one was no exception, the tomato-based sauce nicely complementing the richness of the shrimp. Now, I'm a huge fan of Southeast Asian desserts, so the fact that they're serving this pandan mousse cake on this flight to Bangkok, I mean, it just tastes so good. It tastes so good. And the mango sorbet on the side isn't half bad either. Alright, let's check out the restrooms here on Qatar Airways A380 first class. The 2 restrooms over here are identical, so let's pop into this one. Now, suffice to say that this is a pretty humongous first class restroom. At first, you might be like, where is the toilet? We can't see a toilet in this bathroom at all. But later on, you'll find it's hidden underneath this bench. There's also lots of amenities in here, from the hand creams and cologne to this vanity mirror right here, all the way down to this little drawer. It's full of mouthwash, toothbrush and toothpaste, shaving kits, and combs. Now, the thing about eating and drinking up a storm with world-class food and premium champagnes on first-class cabins is that you end up having to go to the bathroom a lot. And now that we have, it's time to resume the eating and drinking, and I can't think of a better place to do so than the dedicated bar here on the Qatar Airways A380. Indeed, as impressive as these bathrooms are, they're no match for the real highlight here on this particular plane, the onboard bar and lounge. As you can imagine, I was absolutely obsessed with my surroundings as I spent time here at the bar. I helped myself to a glass of whiskey and some black tea, and spent the next few hours simply indulging. Welcome to the bar here on the Qatar Airways Airbus A380. This is truly an incredible space. You've got this whole bar and lounge area to relax, work, and hang out and socialize. And there's of course unlimited alcohol and non-alcoholic drinks that you can order from the barista. It truly is one of the most special things about flying this aircraft. So we're chilling over here in the bar and lounge, and I'm probably going to stay here for the next 3 hours for the rest of the flight, because honestly, if you're flying on the Qatar Airways A380, whether that's in first class or business class, there's really no reason to stay in your seat. You got to come here to the bar and lounge and just enjoy the vibes. Alright, I'm back in the first class cabin, and I figure since we're flying A380 first class for the first time, we may as well try out the lie flat bed. Given the sheer amount of space here in the Qatar Airways first class suite, the lie flat bed was just as plush and comfortable as you would imagine. And this feels like the right time to take a look at the first class amenity kit housed in this beautiful leather bag by Diptyque. You'll find a few bottles of fresh lotions, face creams, and lip balms, as well as a miniature bottle of eau de toilette catered towards either men or women. Now, I've flown Qatar Airways a bunch recently, and this will be my last meal with them for a while, but I gotta say, I think I've made a really good choice with this lobster roll that just looks absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to dig in, and let's do exactly that. What can I say? The flavors are really strong. I love how it's just droopy all over the bread. This really hits the spot. No word of a lie, I've had so many delicious meals with Qatar Airways this month, but this lobster roll right here was probably the single best out of them all. Got a cup of mango juice, my favorite drink on Qatar Airways, to wrap up the flight. Now I gotta say, in terms of the hard product on the Airbus A380 first class, as well as the food and drink on this flight, I have been extremely impressed. However, it hasn't been a perfect flight. And the reason for that is because, I don't want to say this too loudly, but there's been some issues with the service. And it's on this note that I'll conclude the review as we approach our final destination of Bangkok. There were indeed some issues with the service, and I don't feel like this first class crew was particularly well trained. I felt that the crew member taking care of me was quite new at her job, and there were a few moments of inexperience. But having said that, the bartender over at the bar was a delight to speak with, and our conversations there were very much a redeeming factor when it comes to the service overall. If you like that video here in the Qatar Airways Airbus A380 first class, you'll also love first class on the Boeing 777, also with Qatar Airways, that I flew recently. You can check out that video on screen right now, and I'll see you over in that video.